So just how good will Squeak be? Should you save your boxes for him or even spend some of those gems to get him? Using code LEX, right? Today I'm going to go over some of the crazy things that Squeak can do, as well as tell you how to beat him and where I think that he's going to do great and where I think he's going to struggle. Now, Squeak is going to be coming out on May the 22nd, so just a couple weeks away, and hopefully, if you're lucky, you'll be seeing this right here. First off, let's look at some of the crazy strong things that Squeak can do. The first crazy thing that Squeak can do is one-shot every single brawler in Brawl Stars, with the exception of Frank because too many hit points. With his first star power chain reaction, he will be able to deal a staggering 8,400 damage to a single enemy. The only other brawler that can do something like this is Crow, but that's only if he's positioned perfectly and gets the damage on the way up and the way down. It's highly unlikely that you'll be able to hit all of those super projectiles on a single moving target, but it is possible. More than likely, though, you'll be able to use this on a high safe or an Ike as well and be able to deal massive damage. The second crazy thing is his gadget called Wind Up. Now, with this gadget, you're going to be able to hit a target from almost 18 tiles away. It's ridiculous, and that's longer than 3 full swipes from Mortis. Now, while shooting up, the chances of you hitting somebody is pretty slim because you're not even going to be able to see the end of your shot, but you know it's going to happen. You know some people are going to post some crazy clips of killing people completely blind. That's going to be awesome, but what will happen is whenever you need to finish off a safe or an Ike from long distance, if you use all 3 of your gadgets and hit the safe, that's 12% damage or 4% per shot. And we've all been in those games when there's like less than 4% health on the safe or less than 4% on the Ike. In these situations now, Squeak will literally just put the team on his back and be able to hit one gadget, throw a shot, 4% damage per shot from range out of complete safety. That's pretty awesome. The third thing is that while I don't think Squeak is going to be able to counter throwers, he will absolutely disrupt them and other brawlers who have taken up position on you because his main shot sticks to walls and it can deal damage through them. This is going to force enemies to not be able to camp out in one spot behind a wall. And while that in itself is not like a total counter to throwers, it will disrupt the way that they play. Combine that with his super that can be thrown over the walls. Those tanks that are sitting back there or the throwers who have set up camp behind those walls is going to force them to move, giving your team a chance to advance or get a kill. The fourth thing is that he's able to slow brawlers. Now, with Squeak's other star power, he'll be able to slow brawlers for 4 seconds if any one of the little tiny blobs from his super explode while on an enemy. In fact, you could slow the entire other team if the super hit everybody. Now, while 4 seconds isn't as long as some other brawlers like, say, Crow, it is a very strong star power that will allow you or your team to finish off a kill or even keep an enemy at bay. The next thing is his area denial. Let me just say it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Tick 2.0. Just like Tick, he is going to excel at area denial. Because his shots delay and the area explosion is in a pretty large area, he's going to be able to hold choke points almost indefinitely. And in team settings, this is going to be an incredible benefit. So if there's like a certain area that you want to hold off, you can have a Squeak camp that choke point and nobody's going to be able to pass without taking some damage. It's going to be super annoying to play against. Just like Tick, Tick and Squeak are like blood brothers from a different robotic weird mother. That made no sense. Don't worry about it. The next thing is his health. Now, while Squeak certainly is not as beefy as the other tanks, for a brawler with this much utility, having over 5,000 hit points is really good. Now, of course, he's still not going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with the big brawlers like Bull, but he will be able to hold his own in close-range fights with some of the other utility brawlers, just like I showed in my 1v1 video with Squeak, which, if you haven't checked that out already, go check it out. Get yourself prepared for the Squeak apocalypse. Squeakopocalypse? That's not a word. Squeakopocalypse? Squeakopocalypse. There, that'll work, yeah. Okay, so you're like, yo, Lex, this is like the greatest brawler ever, right? No, it's not all sunshine and roses for Squeak. He does have some significant weaknesses, and these are the things that you're going to want to exploit whenever you're playing against him. The first of these is his lack of burst damage. Now, while Squeak does pump out a decent amount of sustained damage, there is a big delay in whenever those shots actually go off. So, much like Tick, if you're able to absorb the damage that he's putting at you, you're going to be able to rush him and pressure him pretty easily. And if you're not able to absorb that damage, then just dodge his shots. because this brings us to his next weak point. His shots are actually really easy to get out of the range of the explosion. So while his area denial is good, the actual damage from the exploding shots is really easy to get out of the way. So if you don't get directly hit by the shot, then you're probably not going to have any problem getting out of the range of the explosion. Now, to make matters worse for Squeak, his shot isn't really wide, so they can't be auto-aimed from a distance. You're going to have to be accurate with your shots, and if you don't hit them, well, you could be in trouble because people will just be able to sidestep him and come right at you. Which brings us to our last weakness for Squeak, because it's not like he can keep firing a non-stop barrage of shots at you, because the time it takes for him to unload and reload those shots is really slow. In fact, his unload and reload speed is one of the slowest in the game, so that puts further importance on you being able to actually hit your shots. Otherwise, I'm screwed. Dang it. So all of that said, how good do I think Squeak is going to be? On a scale from 1 to 10, I think he's going to be a really solid, like, 8.69. I'm so immature. That is to say that he is going to be a very, very good brawler. Now he's not the perfect brawler, but he's going to be a really good choice in most game modes. I do think that even in the game modes that he's going to excel at, you're going to have to play it a bit slower and a little bit more defensive. I mean, he is a support, slash utility brawler. Now, a couple of game modes I don't think he's going to do well in are like Solo Showdown and Bounty. In Solo Showdown, it takes him 5 shots to open up a box, which is going to make it really hard for him to get off to an early lead and be able to overpower any opponent. So in Solo Showdown, you're going to have to play a pretty defensive style to do well. And in Bounty, his main shot range, not counting the explosion, as it's easy to get out of at that range, it's just average, and he doesn't have great burst damage. I mean, Piper and Bee and Brock and Belle and Byron, they're all going to be able to outrange Squeak, and even if you do get hit by a Squeak shot, it's just one, the damage is delayed, you get out of the way, you heal up. There's no real burst damage there, so I don't think he's going to do very good in Bounty either. However, in game modes like Gym Grab, Hot Zone, Heist, Siege, and Duo Showdown, I think he's going to be pretty darn amazing. So if you're lucky enough to open him up early on, then I think that you're going to really enjoy playing with Squeak. And if you don't get him, well, then I'm going to be dropping a stack of gems to unlock him and max him out. So be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications if you want to see how lucky I'm going to be getting with Squeak. But my question for you guys is, how good do you think he's going to be? Do you think he's going to be just broken, as Chief Pat would say about every brawler ever? Or do you think he's going to be average or even bad? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, until next time, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace out. Again. Oh, did I tell you again? Again, though. But wait a second. There's more.